Hello, in this video let's discuss third question of today's contest. You are given an integer array nums with distinct elements. A subarray L2R is called a bold subarray if the subarray has at least length 3 and the minimum of its two ends is strictly greater than the maximum of all elements in between. That is, minimum of ends should be maximum of all the middle elements. Constraints are n is up to 1 if I and the numbers are up to 1 n. For example, let's take this one 25314. So 314 is a bold subarray because minimum of 3 and 4 is greater than the maximum of all elements between, which is only 1. So this is a bold subarray. And coming to 5314, this is also a bold subarray because minimum of ends 5 and 4 is greater than the max of all, which is 3. So in this way we have to find the answer. So minimum of ends is greater than maximum of middle. So for now let's assume that we are at index I and we are fixing the index I as the rightmost index of subarray. So given I as the rightmost index, we have to find the possibilities for index j in the left such that the given condition satisfies. So this is an example. So this is I and this is j. So given an I, there can be other possibility also where, so maybe this is also possible case. This is also j, this is also I and this is j. So given index I, we have to find the possibility of index j. So that we can find the number of answers. For every index I, if we get a strategy to find j, then we can try to get that right. So how can we do that? So if you are able to observe this, there can be two choices where the element at index j we are selecting can be greater than the element at index I, or it can be less than or equal to I also, index value at I. So there can be index j where v of j is greater than v of I, or there can be a case also where v of j is less than v of I. So there are two choices. So instead of trying this both, let's fix one. So if we try to fix one, then we can get the other also. So for now we can simplify this as we are fixing the element, we are fixing the index I such that index j is the maximum among j and I and it satisfies the given condition. So this is still the better part than this because we are still able to specify what are the specific requirements we want. So instead of just fixing I and j, let's fix minimum and max of elements also. So for example, right index is j, right index is I. So if the right index is I, we want the left index j such that v of j is maximum among v of j and v of I. So if that is the case, then this is the possible subarray because minimum of these both, maximum of these both, and minimum of these both. So minimum is this and maximum is this. So it is simply a bold subarray. So this is a possible case, right? Because we are assuming that is the maximum. So from this, what you're able to understand. So let's draw the subarray between I and j. For example, let's assume we are finding j as 0. Let's assume we are trying to find answer for j is equal to 0 to I minus 1. So if that is the case, we can try to figure the whole subarray. So let's assume this is the whole array ending at I. So if this is the case, then is this j a possible answer? Is this j a possible answer or this j is a possible answer? Because we assumed that j should be greater than index I also value, right? So can this be a possibility or can this be? So it is very clear that only this one can be a possible valid j. Why? Because here there is something like this, right? So there is something like this, and this is the number. So this is the number, and this is the j we are thinking about. So there is a middle number where it is greater than the minimum of these, which is this. So from this, what we're able to understand, we're able to understand that we are only able to select the before greater element. So because this is the only possible case. If we consider this, let's assume we are not considering this, and we are coming about next less j, which is greater than I. So can this j be a part of answer? No, because we already have a middle element which is greater than this, right? So if this is already greater than this, then our condition gets satisfied because minimum of this both should be greater than maximum, but we are able to find a middle element where it is greater than the minimum of this both. So this clearly violates our answer. So from this, we are able to understand that we are only able to select the index j such that it is in the left half and it is maximum of elements between I and j, and that should be the previous greater element of index I. only then we can select the index j. So hope you got this. So clearly we can think about previous greater element. So we got this. So we got the answer. Can we do that? So let's assume this is the array 25314. So this is the figure of that. And what we got, so from for now we got that for an index I we will find if the next previous greater element is existing. So if that is existing, then we can simply add answer. So for example, this is the one, so we are at 3, and for 3 there is the previous greater element 5. So we got the previous greater element. So can we simply add the answer 1? No, because we are missing the other one. The thing is, the length should be greater than or equal to 3, but here 5 and 3 the length is 2. So even then, if it is the previous greater element, we are missing the fact that it should be greater than or equal to 3. So this is wrong. So then what can we do? Then we can think of the middle element. For example, if we think of the middle element, if we fix the middle element, and then if we try to find the previous greater, and if we try to find the next greater, because the strategy is same even when we are trying to find the answer for right index, given that we are selecting the left index. So what we got, if we are able to select index I, what is the index j that can be the possibility case? It is simply previous greater element of index I. And similarly, if we fix index I, what is the index k such that in the right it satisfies the condition? It is simply next greater element. Only then it will be bold, right? So this is a possible bowl. This is a possible bowl. Or we can try to take cases. Yeah, so this is a possible bowl, not this one. So given index I, we can try to find the next greater, previous greater. If these both exist, then we got an answer where this is the answer, as this has the middle element. So hope you got this. We will find the next greater element and previous greater elements of all the indices. So we found those, and now we are starting to find the answer. So we will traverse from all 0 to I, 0 to n minus 1, and we will consider this as the middle one. So considering this as the middle one, we will try to find the previous greater element, and similarly next greater element. So if these both exist, then we got answer, because if these both exist, then this is the possibility. So then we got the answer. So simply increment answer, right? So if there is no greater element, if there is no greater element, then is there answer? No, because we are considering this as the middle element. So given this as a middle element, we must have both previous greater and next greater. So if these both are existing, then we can find the answer. Answer plus plus. Else we don't have an subarray with this as a middle element. So answer plus equal to 0 for this. So now it is very simple, right? So we will find next greater element, previous greater element, arrays, where it will indicate the indices I and j. And now we will initialize all with minus 1, and then we will find these both, and then we will traverse all 0 to n minus 1, and then we will try to fix the middle element, middle index, and then we will find if both these are existing. If both these are not minus 1, if these both are not minus 1, then simply increment answer, else don't do anything. In this way we can find the answer. If you have any doubts, comment below. See you in the next video.